Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's dive into a topic that's got Manchester United fans buzzing. Ruben Amorim's early impact, that huge 4-0 win over Everton, and his candid message to Arsenal. If you've been following United's roller coaster of a season, you know how rare it is to see a manager cut through the hype and get straight to the point. But that's exactly what Amorim did after this match, and honestly, it's refreshing. Let's talk about how he's reshaping the narrative. Instead of feeding into the United are back euphoria that so often follows a big win, Amorim is urging caution. He's calling out the hype merchants, reminding fans and players alike that this was a pragmatic win, not the masterpiece some want to believe it was. And that's where the magic lies. He's not here to sugarcoat, he's here to rebuild. In this video, I'll unpack it all: the match, his philosophy, the challenges ahead, and what this means for United moving forward. This isn't just about tactics, it's about setting the foundation for something real. So let's break it down step by step and see why this moment might actually matter. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Alright, let's kick things off with the obvious talking point: Manchester United's 4-0 demolition of Everton. On paper, this looks like a statement win, right? 4 goals, a clean sheet, and a dominant scoreline. Rashford bagged 2, Xerxes shined with another brace, and Amad Diallo's creativity gave United fans plenty to cheer about. But dig a little deeper and you'll see why Ruben Amorim isn't getting swept up in the excitement. This wasn't about United running riot for 90 minutes. It was about seizing key moments. Amorim himself called it pragmatic, not pretty, and honestly, he's spot on. Everton, for all their struggles, had their chances in the first half. If not for United's clinical finishing and some clever tactics, this could have been a much tighter game. Instead, Amorim's side took their chances when it mattered, with Rashford and Bruno Fernandes combining beautifully for the opener, a well-rehearsed move straight from the training ground. But let's not ignore the standout performer, Amad Diallo. His energy and decision-making were next level, and Amorim didn't shy away from praising him as a big talent. However, Amorim also kept his feet firmly on the ground, insisting that even the best performers can do better. That balance of praise and constructive criticism is what sets him apart. The real highlight here isn't just the win, it's the message behind it. Amorim is making it clear. This isn't about one-off victories or flashy scorelines, it's about building something sustainable. While many fans and pundits jumped on the United are back bandwagon after the match, Amorim was quick to pump the brakes, reminding everyone that beating Everton at Old Trafford isn't the peak of his ambitions. So, what should fans take from this result? Yes, there's room to celebrate, but there's also room to grow. This wasn't a perfect performance, but it was a step forward. And in a season where consistency has been United's Achilles heel, every step matters. Now, with Everton out of the way, the real test lies ahead. Can Amorim take this momentum and translate it into something more substantial? That's where things get interesting. Let's talk about why his vision for the club is a game changer. A higher standard, one that demands more than just flashes of brilliance. And this applies to the entire squad. No one gets a free pass, and that's a culture shift United desperately needed. This philosophy also extends to the fans. Amorim isn't here to pander. By shutting down the hype merchants, he's sending a message: don't settle for mediocrity dressed up as progress. He's asking for patience, for a willingness to accept that rebuilding takes time. It's a stark contrast to the quick fix mentality that's plagued the club for years. Ultimately, Amorim's realism is a breath of fresh air. It's not about tearing things down, it's about building them the right way, step by step. And that brings us to how he's going about constructing his version of Manchester United. Let's dive into his tactical approach. If there's one thing Ruben Amorim has made clear, it's that building a team isn't about flashy signings or instant gratification. It's about creating a cohesive unit. And his approach to managing Manchester United's squad is turning heads. From tactical rotations to cultivating a culture of fear and respect, Amorim is laying the groundwork for something meaningful. One of the standout aspects of his early tenure is his use of rotation. Against Everton, we saw Joshua Xerxes start up front, with Rasmus Højlund rested after his midweek shift in the Europa League. Amorim didn't just rotate for the sake of it, there was a clear tactical logic. By deploying Xerxes, he disrupted Everton's old-school defensive setup, pulling their center backs out of position. The result? A brace for Xerxes and a headache for Everton's backline. But Amorim's rotation isn't just tactical, it's psychological. He's sending a message to his players: everyone gets a chance, but you have to earn your spot. This keeps the squad hungry, motivated, and crucially, on their toes. Gone are the days when certain players could rely on their reputations to secure a starting role. Under Amorim, performance is the only currency. This approach is backed by a culture shift that's equally vital. Amorim has introduced a dynamic of fear and respect within the squad. And no, this isn't about intimidation, it's about accountability. Players know that slacking off or underperforming won't be tolerated. Just look at Christian Eriksen, who was dropped entirely from the matchday squad against Everton. Amorim isn't afraid to make tough calls, and that's a quality United have sorely lacked in recent years. Tactically, Amorim's blueprint is pragmatic yet forward-thinking. His back three system, combined with energetic wingbacks like Amad Diallo Diallo and Diogo Dalot, creates width and flexibility. Meanwhile, his midfield pivots, often anchored by Casemiro and Manuel Ugarte, ensure defensive solidity without sacrificing creativity. It's a system designed to adapt, not just dominate. What makes this even more impressive is how quickly the players have bought into his philosophy. There's a sense of purpose, a feeling that every decision, whether it's who starts or how they play, serves a larger plan. And that's what makes Amorim'S approach so exciting. It's not about short-term gains, it's about building a team that can compete at the highest level. Now let's talk about the road ahead, because the challenges are about to get real. If you thought a 4-0 win over Everton was a sign that Manchester United are in the clear, think again. Ruben Amorim knows better, and he's already looking ahead to what's arguably the toughest stretch of the season. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City are all looming, and here's the kicker. They're all away games. This isn't just a test of tactics, it's a test of character, consistency, and resilience. Let's start with Arsenal. The Gunners are a team that's been building under Mikel Arteta for years. They've got a clear system, strong chemistry, and crucially, a home crowd that makes the Emirates a fortress. For Amorim, this isn't just another match, it's a free hit. Win, and it's a statement of intent. Lose, and as long as the team shows progress, it's not the end of the world. That's the beauty of Amorim's approach. He's not setting unrealistic expectations. He's realistic about where United are and where they need to go. Then there's the small matter of Liverpool and Manchester City. These are teams operating at the peak of their powers with defined styles and world-class players. Watching Liverpool's intensity or City's precision is like seeing a finished masterpiece. United, by contrast, are still sketching out the blueprint. Amorim knows that, and he's not shying away from the challenge. Instead, he's treating these games as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. But here's where it gets interesting. Amorim doesn't see these matches as make-or-break moments. Sure, fans might get frustrated if results don't go United's way, but Amorim's focus is long-term. He's building something sustainable, not chasing quick wins, and that's why these games, win or lose, are valuable. They're a litmus test for where the team stands against the very best. What's crucial, though, is managing expectations. Fans, and let's be honest, the media can sometimes get carried away. One win turns into talk of title races, while one loss sparks calls for change. Amorim is cutting through all of that, reminding everyone that progress isn't linear. It's messy, it takes time, and it requires patience. So, as United head into this gauntlet of fixtures, the question isn't whether they'll win or lose, it's how they'll grow from the experience. And that's what makes this period so fascinating. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, Amorim's long-term vision for Manchester United. Now, here's where Ruben Amorim's impact truly stands out, his long-term vision. Unlike many managers who ride the wave of new manager bounce, Amorim seems determined to lay a foundation that outlasts the usual cycle of short-lived success. He's not just managing for today, he's building for tomorrow. What does that mean in practice? First, it's about breaking the patterns that have held Manchester United back for a decade. Quick fixes and marquee signings might excite the fans and sell jerseys, but they haven't delivered lasting success. Amorim is rejecting that approach outright. Instead, he's focusing on squad cohesion, tactical identity, and most importantly, instilling a winning mentality. Take his comments after the Everton game. This is not the standard. That's a powerful statement, especially after a 4-0 win. Amorim is signaling to his players and to the fans that beating mid-table teams isn't enough. The ultimate goal, competing with the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, and the European elite, not just for one season, but consistently. His emphasis on consistency is key. Amorim isn't interested in one-off performances or players who thrive on hype. He wants a squad that delivers week in, week out. That's why he's not afraid to challenge even the top performers. When he says Marcus Rashford can do better after scoring a brace, it's not criticism. It's an invitation to rise to a higher standard. But Amorim's vision isn't just about tactics or discipline, it's about culture. He's fostering an environment where players are held accountable, but also empowered to grow. Young talents like Amad Diallo are being given opportunities to shine, while established stars know they can't rest on their laurels. It's a delicate balance, but one that Amorim seems to be mastering. The ultimate measure of his success, however, won't be in isolated victories or individual performances. It'll be in how this team evolves over time. Can United develop a playing style that's as recognizable as Liverpool's intensity or City's precision? Can they become a force in Europe again? Those are the questions Amorim is tackling, not with quick fixes, but with a steady, deliberate approach. This isn't just about winning the next match, it's about building a legacy. And with that, let's wrap up with what all of this means for United moving forward.